So if everything works out right in editing and in shooting this, you will have just finished seeing me eat a sandwich. That was my dinner. It's 9:13. That clock's a little off. It's like 9:15, let's say. On a Friday night. Who knows when I'll post this or if it'll get posted at all. I wanted to talk about a few things. Something my professor said in one of my classes. I'm taking a history class this year, and she said something that really struck me a couple weeks ago. And eating that sandwich just now kind of reminded me of it. So that sandwich was probably the first real meal that I've eaten all day. Skipped breakfast, skipped lunch because I had a bunch of stuff to do. And I've been in the library for the last 3 or 4 hours. I just got back to the apartment a little while ago. It ties directly into kind of what my professor said. So she said that, especially in academia, people seem to have this idea that the less sleep you get, or really in general, the amount of wear and tear you put your body through and the amount that you don't take care of yourself is somehow directly related to how much, or to your productivity and how much you've gotten done, which is totally false. You hear it all the time, where it's like, oh, I haven't slept in like a week. And we seem to take pride in that, especially when we're in school, but I want to make a point that this is like in everything in life. Whether it's work or some sort of hobby, video games even. There's this strange belief that we seem to hold that the less we take care of ourselves, the more we're getting done, or the better our work is somehow, or the more accomplished we are, the more success we're having. And it's just not true. And I know this firsthand, and I think it's something that needs to be said. And people need to be reminded of, especially people in college. There's times when, we feel there's no time to eat, and there's no time to sleep. But there's a point where when you don't sleep enough, when you don't eat, square meals, that your workflow, it takes a toll on your workflow, and you're not getting as much done, and the work you're getting done might not be of the best quality that it could be. There's absolutely no shame in taking care of yourself, and if anything, I encourage that you do take care of yourself in whatever capacity that... My Zoom died. Hold on. Gotta change the batteries. I want the batteries. All right, we're back. This is kind of a weird, third wall break. You get to see how I record my audio. Just have this handy Zoom H1N. This is just really handy, and if you're at all thinking about getting into videos, understand that audio quality is one of the first things that you should address. But anyway, back on the subject at hand. You should definitely not be ashamed, or you definitely shouldn't feel like you're not getting anything done, or that you are somehow falling behind by taking care of yourself. It's not how it works, trust me. Last year, my freshman year, I was not sleeping as much as I should have been. I was eating junk, and part of that was a result of me being in the dorms and not really having access to anything more than one food hall and a convenience store. But, could have leveraged the opportunity to use the kitchen. Although it was a communal kitchen, I should have used it, should have been social, and that would have helped. I can tell you that when I was eating all the junk that I was last year, I felt sluggish, and I don't think I was getting as much work done as efficiently as I could have, and that was a combination of me not getting as much sleep and a combination of just me feeling super sluggish just because of the food I was eating and the lack of exercise. Whereas in contrast to this year, I made it a point to cook as much as I can, and while it's kind of gotten I'm not cooking as much right now because it's midterm season, but I have been consistently cooking at least 3 or 4 times a week just to make sure that, one, I'm challenging myself in one way because I want to learn how to cook, but also just seeing what goes into my food and making sure that what I'm putting into my body is, good for me. And it also doesn't have to taste terrible. Just a minor adjustment in my life that has not only saved me money, but it's also kind of, it's helped me grow, helped me learn things. But I also feel a lot less sluggish, and I can tell you that now I have time to do a lot more things. I'm fitting a lot more into my schedule, but I'm also fitting in a lot more meaningful things into my schedule. And I'm getting a lot more things done that I need to in a more timely manner. And that just comes with taking care of yourself. And that's something that I think is underrated, especially when you're in college. That's something that I think we should change. They're just some things that you need to take care of yourself, and you need to make sure that you are putting yourself in the best position to, do what you need to do, but also be healthy. And on that note, I also think that, actually, what was I going to say? I'm trying to be off the cuff here, and this was something that I also was trying to work on, because I tend to write scripts for everything and then I just read straight from it, and that's never entertaining. Oh, yes. I remember what I was going to say. So, just on that note, when you make time to sleep, when you make time to eat, make sure that you make time for things that matter to you, things that are important to you, whether that's, like in my case, making art, shooting, editing, things like that, making videos, talking to a camera and smiling profusely and awkwardly. And, on a more serious note, like making time for the people you care about, the people you love. We are in the places that we are for a reason, whether you're in college, whether you're working, we have a purpose. My purpose is to learn and not fail, hopefully. But that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice things. And it, honestly, I think is unhealthy if you don't make time for things that are important to you. If I get out of here with a degree in journalism, but I, didn't smile and I didn't make any memories, I would say that it was a waste of time. You have to be able to balance these things. Balance things that are meaningful to your life and things that you have to do. Well, that's the thing, right? Like, we don't really have to do anything. But if it feels like you're forced to do something, maybe that's telling you something. Just be more intentional with the things you do. That's something I'm working on. That's more or less the gist of what I've had to say. Just thought about that when I was getting what I suppose is my dinner. Life has been really busy lately. I have 2 midterms coming up next week, and that's pretty much what my entire weekend is going to be spent doing, is just studying for them. Last week I had a midterm, and then I had paper due before that, so these past few weeks have just been kind of a blur. But it's been a good blur. Let's put it to you like that. I definitely enjoy the things that I'm filling my time with, and if anything more, I would just want to be able to push more content out and just be able to just try to improve, especially in the area of like videos and things like that. I remember saying something about 1 video a month, and I don't think I uploaded anything in October. So I've already failed. And I'm sorry. I don't know. I hope you have a swell day whenever you're watching this. A good week, a good weekend. Make sure you take care of yourself, and make sure you make time for things that matter to you, and eat good meals. I will see you hopefully next month. I will be more active on my Instagram though, so wherever you're watching this, follow at Freshman Brian on Instagram, and I can promise more posts more frequently on there than I can on video platforms. Bam. I'm going to stop rambling now.